So about a month ago, it was a nice day outside, maybe around 15 degrees. So naturally, I decided to go for a walk. So as I'm walking past this park, I noticed a group of kids sitting around, just enjoying themselves. Couldn't have been older than 12, maybe even 13 years old. I was thinking, wow, kids their age still enjoy outdoor time? Maybe their generation is less condescending than I thought they were. That is, until I heard them speak. Between all the F-bombs they were dropping, I'm almost certain I made out a statement. Something along the lines of, ugh, I hate my mom. She got me the 6S instead of the 7. I could barely even believe what I was hearing. For starters, how could you come to the conclusion that you hate your parents? They literally are the reason for your existence, and now you suddenly can't stand them? Like, grow up a bit. Why are kids these days so spoiled that they suddenly hate their parents because they're not willing to bow at your presence? Like, sure, maybe parents can be a little dorky at times, or try to be cool in front of your friends, but that's all the more reason to love them, or at least pay some respect to them. And these kids show no appreciation towards them. Just sickening. Another thing is that when kids from Generation Z make commitments, usually with their parents, that they agreed to do, they still try to rain check last minute. Now this wouldn't be as annoying if they didn't have to go ahead and complain as if they're not doing what they said they would do. Like when I was younger, maybe 9 or 10, I remember my sister had a sleepover with a friend of hers named Stephanie. The day after, when she returned home, my parents needed someone to babysit me for the evening. I wasn't old or trusted enough to watch myself, so naturally, after a few sighs, she agreed to. Later that evening, when my parents were planning on leaving, I remember her going up to them and asking if she could spend another night with Stephanie, as if completely misunderstood of the fact that she already made a prior commitment. After my parents thought and probably laughed at it, they told her that somebody still needed to watch me for the evening, and she had already agreed to it. So she proceeded to storm off to her room and do what any kid would do. Throw a tantrum. This dragged on the whole night. So the next day, I was deemed responsible enough to watch myself alone at home, and she never complained about babysitting again. One more thing that always bothers me about Generation Z is that none of them have ever seen any of the classic movies from before 2000. Growing up, I absolutely loved old movies like The Matrix, Titanic, Godfather, the original Star Wars. The list just goes on and on. After gathering information from friends of mine, I've come to the realization that maybe 4 or 5 people in our grade haven't seen any of the classic movies that I've learned to love. I realize that most of you haven't seen any of the movies I mentioned, and I could just never understand why. 99% of you have Netflix, or at least know somebody who does, and all these movies are just one click away, but still, they never get watched. Like it has such easy access. I've seen people hassle their friends for having not seen The Infinity War about a week after its release. And these are the same people that couldn't name the 2 actors from The Shawshank Redemption. It's Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, by the way. Absolutely astonishing film. I'm pretty sure the only reason that I'm the slightest bit annoyed by people having not watched these movies is that nobody ever understands the references that I make. I could be doubling over with laughter, and all I hear again and again is, I don't get it. This also happens when I make references to amazing books that everybody should have read at one point or another, but still, I don't get it. For example, if I'm about to do something immature and possibly dangerous, and I say something along the lines of, don't worry, the faster I go, the more likely improbable things are to occur. I should be fine. Nobody ever knows what the hell I'm on about. Ruins a lot of my comedy, by the way. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google the improbability drive. Please, just do me a favor. I just feel that the younger kids of our generation are so entitled that maybe it isn't their fault. Maybe it's a result of being raised in a certain environment or in a certain lifestyle and they just couldn't control it. And yes, I'm aware that some of these things are things that you've all done before, because I'll admit that I act entitled from time to time as well. But what sets me apart from the rest of this generation is that I'm willing to admit it. Are you?